A log entry 1, arrival. The planet designated Kepler 1649c was supposed to be uninhabited. That's what the records said. That's what we were told. The Exogenesis Colony Initiative had scouted it years ago, confirming conditions were perfect for human settlement. Air was breathable, water was plentiful, and the soil was rich enough to sustain crops. The first wave of colonists, 500 of us, arrived with hope in our hearts and the promise of a new beginning. We landed in the wide-open plains near a freshwater lake, setting up our temporary shelters. The days were long, the nights crisp, the silence profound. It felt like we were the first people to set foot here. We were wrong. A log entry 4, the first discovery. It started when one of our engineers, Carter, was digging out the foundations for the main habitat structure. His drill bit hit something hard, bone. At first we assumed it belonged to an animal, but the moment he brushed away the dirt, it became clear. It was human. More digging revealed an entire skeleton. It was old, ancient even, yet eerily well preserved in the dry soil. But that wasn't the disturbing part. The skull had a metal implant fused to the bone, something that looked like a neural interface, the kind developed for deep space pilots. But it was fossilized, embedded so deeply into the skull that it must have been there for thousands of years. That was impossible. Humanity had only just reached this system. No one had been here before us. Log entry 7, the mass grave. We expanded the dig site, uncovering more skeletons. Dozens at first, then hundreds, an entire graveyard buried beneath our landing zone. Some bodies were twisted in unnatural positions, like they had died in agony. Others had signs of surgery, metal implants, reinforced bone structures, even remnants of old, rusted exosuits fused to their remains. Their tools, weapons and technology, what little remained, were unmistakably human. We scanned our records again. No mention of prior human expeditions, no crashed ships, no lost colonies, nothing. And yet, the proof was beneath our feet. A log entry, 10, the symbols. Then we found the structures. Deep beneath the soil, buried beneath millennia of rock and ash, there were remnants of a city. Buildings made of an unknown alloy, eroded but still standing. Walls covered in strange, spiraling symbols, symbols that sent chills down our spines, because they were written in English. Log entry 13. The transmission Dr. Hughes, our lead xenoarchaeologist, decrypted part of the inscriptions. They weren't just messages, they were warnings. Do not rebuild, do not awaken them, do not stay. We didn't know what it meant, not yet. Then the radio signals started. Log entry 15, the voices. Our long-range transmitters picked up a faint signal, repetitive, rhythmic, like a distress beacon. At first, we assumed it was some natural interference, but then it grew stronger. It began broadcasting in our own language. Leave now, they are still here, they never left. We tried to pinpoint the source, but the signal wasn't coming from any specific location. It was coming from everywhere. Then the lights in our habitat flickered. The air felt heavier. We started seeing shadows moving where there was no light. Log entry 18. The vanishing's people began disappearing. One by one, no screams, no signs of struggle. They would be walking to their bunks, stepping outside for air, and then gone. Surveillance footage showed nothing. One frame they were there, the next an empty corridor. And then came the voices. Log entry 20. The end of the colony. We don't know what they are, we don't know what happened here before. But we know one thing. This planet isn't empty. It never was. We were never the first. We tried to send a distress signal to Earth, but our comms only echoed back our own words, distorted, as if someone or something was speaking with us. Then the sky turned black, and the stars blinked out, one by one. If anyone finds this log, do not follow us. Do not land here, do not make the same mistake, because they don't let anyone leave. End transmission.